It is Lynn Bardowski, founder at $1 Million Party Girl, with episode 5 of the Extraordinary Women Show. Every Tuesday at 3 o'clock, we interview ordinary women who are achieving extraordinary success in direct sales and network marketing, and have them share all their secret sauce with you so that you can get there too. So today we have Kayla Vernon in the house. Hey, Kayla.
Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm so excited to be here.
And if you guys did not notice, we're twinning.
Crushed Velvet Sisters.
we're rocking the new trends. So we will we'll tell you how we ended up wearing the same outfit in a different color today. That's kind of our backstory. And so let us know if you guys are watching live. Let us know how many years or months or maybe weeks that you have been in direct sales. Kayla just started, it was 4 years ago, Kayla?
Yeah, 4 years ago.
And has already built $1 million plus downline. So yeah, she's got a little secret sauce that she's going to share with us today. So yeah, let us know how long you've been with your direct selling business, and feel free to share the name of that company.
Okay.
So every week you're going to hear all these great success stories. This is great content to share, of course, with your team, right? Who doesn't want to inspire your team to be $1 Million Party Girl?
Right. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Emily. Hi, Stephanie. My team is on here. Well, Nicole's not on my team, but she's in my company. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Kayla. As Lynn just said, I have been with Epiphany. We were formerly Honey and Lace for a little over, I would say it's almost been 2 years. So 1 year and 8 months. So I'm hitting that 2 year. Before that, I was with another company, similar party planning business, same apparel fashion. So I know Emily's been 1 year this month. I'm so excited for her to be here. She's right there on my tails. She's one of my directs.
Congratulations, Emily.
And it's just, I don't know, it's been a really fun road. I was a teacher, and I told my husband that I was tired of commuting and teaching long hours and not able to kind of flex my income on how many hours I was putting into it. So I said, hey, I'm going to give it 6 months, kind of like your thing. I think that's also where we kind of connected. I was like, okay, I'm giving it 6 months. And if I can make my salary in 6 months, then I'm quitting. And I think it was like right at that 6 month mark that I put in my notice and I was done. So I've been doing it ever since. And it's actually my 1 year anniversary, you guys, not working any other jobs besides this tomorrow.
Wow. Oh, get out.
Yeah.
Hey, we could be drinking mimosas.
Right.
That's awesome. So 1 year since you quit your day job.
Right. Tomorrow will mark my 1 year mark.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And I know so many people want to do that. And that's one of the reasons I really want to get these stories out there, is because a lot of people don't know about the kind of income that you can make in our industry, and that it can be a career. Way more than a side hustle, ladies and men, way more.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, because I think that is, you just shared a great tip there that a lot of people might have missed, because it was like, so I just did it. So,
right.
So we met at the Epiphany conference. So Epiphany rebranding, a brand new relaunch of Honey and Lace, which is a fashion company, inventory based, and we were both rocking their styles. So as the keynote speaker, this is like a major perk. I got to raid the closet at the corporate office. Might have gone home with like a suitcase full of clothes.
Right.
Yes. Awesome speaker perk. So, we talked before the conference so I could learn a little bit more about how you were doing business, and some of, the ways that you were rocking your business. So both of us left our corporate career in 6 months. So you went all in, even though you were still working full time as a hairstylist. You went all in on that dream, and you were kind of a woman on a mission to make that happen.
Right.
So what kind of activities were you doing during those first 6 months to be able to have the kind of success where you could leave that corporate career in such a short period of time? Because that is an answer a lot of people want. How do I do it? So what was that like?
Yeah. So as a teacher, I always preach like use your resources, right? Find things that are around you and use them to help you, develop work or whatever. So for me, I started using my resources. So obviously I was teaching. Hello, woman dominant business, right?
So what were you, because you were a hairdresser and you were teaching?
Yeah. Well, that's what I remember. I told you once that I started doing the clothes and the hairdressing stuff kind of just was like appointment stuff. Like I started just doing weddings. So I was doing a lot of pop-ups on the weekends. So therefore I couldn't do hair anymore. That's kind of how I phased out of hair. And I don't think I told them that part.
Okay.
So I've always done like
3 jobs at one time.
Yes. So I've always been that way though. So my mom always jokes, like when I was going through beauty college, I had 2 jobs and I was going to beauty college full time, right? So, and then I was also taking night classes at community college. So I've always been that person that's like constantly, if I'm not doing 100 things, then I feel, I guess like I'm not myself.
I feel like that's how women roll though. We have like, right. We're just going to jump in and do it. Right.
Right. So, my whole thing was I decided that I was going to use, my resources at work. So I had a lot of teacher friends and our clothes are really teacher friendly. So everyone always asks me anyways, I wear it every day, right? Because if you don't wear it, you can't sell it. And so they would always ask me, where'd you get your clothes? And I would always say, well, actually, and then that was my whole segue into, I actually sell these and it's super fun. And I can set it up here. So I did like a couple shop the racks and the teacher's lounge. And then after that, it kind of just got the ball rolling of parties and them telling their friends. And it was just that momentum.
Okay.
And then I decided, right. And then, so I'm really big about this. And I tell my team this too. Boundaries are huge. You don't want to burn yourself out. So I scheduled my week out. I would only do 1 pop-up during the week. And then I would schedule most of my other pop-ups during the weekend. And kind of similar to you is I would do 2 a day. So I would do an AM and a PM pop-up because they're only like an hour to an hour and a half. And so I would roll in, set up my clothes, do my pop-up, and then go to have an hour for lunch and then set up my next pop-up. And I actually used my resources. I had a teacher friend who was my assistant. So she would work for clothes. So she would come help me with all these pop-ups on the weekends, and then she would get credit to shop. And she loved it because, who doesn't love free clothes, right? And so that was really fun. And she helped me kind of gain my momentum and allowed me to do these things because it's really hard. If you're in the party plan business where you have inventory on hand, it's a lot of work to set up those parties. So you need to be sure that you have enough time and that you're prepared, for all that entails, because you can burn yourself out pretty easy. And I'm not going to lie, the first couple months I didn't have that rhythm in play. And so I was a little tired, but then once I started scheduling it and making sure that I only booked them at the times I wanted to book them, then it was much better. And if you're only offering your hostesses times that work for you, then they're going to choose those times. So
very true. Very true.
Don't give them an open calendar ever.
Never show your calendar, right?
No.
So you dropped a couple good nuggets there. Number 1, I will recap. I'll be the recapper for everybody.
Thanks, Lynn. I talk a lot, so.
Because like I said, I know so many people, that's probably the question I get asked a lot. How do I quit my day job? And so a couple things you did right away. You set a schedule and you got in control of your schedule and realized how many parties you needed to hold to be able to build the business that was going to enable you to leave your corporate career, but utilizing that time so you were only doing 1 during the week, but then 2 on the weekend, which is also what I did, so that it's 2 for 1. And if you're going to be out and be ready to go and work, why not do an afternoon and then a little bit later, early evening party on a Saturday, and boom, you're done.
Right.
Or even 2 parties at one time. I did a lot of, and I shared this at your conference, I did a lot of double hostess parties because if somebody was booking, and you could still do this today, if you have a hostess booking, always offer her the opportunity to invite a friend to co-host with her.
Right.
Because right? Maximize the time that you're already working, especially when you have that full-time job. So you set up that consistency, you got control of your calendar. So when someone was booking, did you say, here's the dates that I have open and let them pick from those dates?
Not really. I would be more like, okay, so I have this Saturday open at 9 a.m. or I can maybe squeeze you in Friday night, depending on, I need to check with my husband, obviously. So I would typically tell them like two things and like make one of them like, I'm going to squeeze you in if it was something that worked better for me.
Yeah.
So say they really wanted Saturday morning and I already had someone penciled in, but like it wasn't confirmed. I obviously don't want to tell them no, but at the same time, I still need to offer them another time.
Yeah.
And if I did double book it, a lot of times, like you said, I would say, hey, do you want to host with someone else? She's already offered up her space. That way you don't really have to do much. You just show up with your friends and maybe just like connect with her and see if you need to bring anything, like, wine. Sparkling water or something. Yeah. I'm a sparkling water.
Okay. I'll bring you wine.
Orange. It's not red wine. Not
Oh, that's true. That could be a problem with clothing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so that's kind of, I don't know. I feel like that was the easiest for me, was just to be like, hey guys, like, this is what I have. And if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, then we'll talk about something else that maybe I can squeeze you in. And that's kind of how I approached my hair when I was doing hair too. It was the same type of schedule as like, hey, these are what worked for me. So I guess that just kind of spilled over because that was my experience with booking appointments, right? Is that it was always on my time because I'm, giving them a service. So it needs to work for me too, right?
It's what you already knew how to do, which I think is the most challenging thing for somebody just starting in direct sales, because it's kind of that fear of, when do you want to have the party? Because I think there's that fear of losing a booking. But the opposite is true. And what I found and what you obviously found is that success breeds success. Mm-hmm. And people want to book parties with people that are successful, whether you have to fake it till you make it sometimes. Mm-hmm. Be like, I only have this day left, meaning you're looking at a completely empty calendar. Right? They don't know that. Uh-huh. And there is that fear of missing out, that, I got to get in with her because she's booked. Like, I got to get in now. And so there's a little bit of psychology going on there. So I hope you guys are taking notes to what Kayla is saying, because that can really make or break not only how many parties you book, because people want to book parties with the girl that is successful, but also getting that control of your calendar and booking the parties when it works for you. Mm-hmm. Tiamo is asking, do you two have on the same top?
Same dress.
We kind of do. I swear we didn't plan it. So if you just are doing the show, hello, and if you're watching on the replay, hey guys. If you missed the backstory, I keynoted the conference where I met Kayla and was gifted this fabulous pink velvet. What is it called? The Brea?
Brea, yeah.
The Brea dress.
Good job, yeah.
Getting my lingo down. So proud of myself. So I actually wore this for my keynote talk, and it comes in a bunch of different colors. So I told Kayla, I'm like, I'm wearing my pink velvet.
And I was like, well, I already have my purple one on, so.
It wasn't really planned, but that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other really smart thing you did was you asked for help, but you were smart. You bartered. Mm-hmm. And again, I think that's something that we forget that we can do, right? We're so many times reluctant to ask for that help. And you saw that if you were really going to make this work and be able to quit your job, you needed an assistant. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of brilliant right away. So you got that help right away so that you could focus on the things that made you money, I'm assuming you could do. So what kind of things did you have your assistant do?
So she would make sure everything was organized on the racks in size and style. She made sure that everything was out and ready to, like, for checkout, all those things were ready to roll. She made sure that she would check people out. So I could go around the room and make sure that I was connecting with everyone and helping them try things on. Because if you leave women in a room full of clothes, it can be really overwhelming, especially if they don't know fit of things. So that's what I focused on. I focused on the sale. Like, I wanted to make sure that I was giving the best customer service. I was connecting. I was sure that, they needed help with, I don't know, they came out of the dressing room like, oh, I don't know if this is like the right fit for me. I could be like, oh, but yeah, it is actually. And then this is how you could, wear it in different ways. Or if you're feeling like it may not shape your body in the right way, like add a belt. And so I made sure I always had belts. So that's a big thing too, is make sure you have the accessories that you need, whatever you're selling. I mean, I don't know another example of this right off the top of my head, but okay, for a perfect example, when I was doing hair and I would go to weddings, I don't do eyebrows, right? Like, I don't wax eyebrows. That's not my thing. But you better believe that I know how to shape them. And so if I'm doing a bride's makeup and hair and her eyebrows are wild, like, I'm going to tweeze those out and make sure that, like, because it just helps the whole look, right? And so that's big, is make sure that you have the tools that you need in case, like, for all those circumstances that could happen during your party. And don't stress yourself out over it. It's actually going to be benefit to you. Don't take note right now and go, oh my gosh, I don't know what else I would need. But belts are pretty simple. You can get them at, I don't know, someone on my team said they get theirs at like Forever 21 or something for like $4 each. You don't even have to sell them. Just have them there so you can help them style their outfits.
Yeah, I guess what? Even so, with Party Light, candles and home decor, I always brought props to create that whole look, the same thing.
Right.
So this can apply to no matter what you're selling. I would, go to TJ Maxx and get some table runners, and especially during the holiday season, some pumpkins, some extra fall leaves, like decorate their table and show them.
Right.
So same thing. Anything you're selling, there's some kind of accessory for, whatever it might be, and that's where you really kind of come in as the expert, right? And I know you've been really blazing new trails with how you are reinventing the party. Right. And really focusing on that personalized experience. So tell us a little bit about that. What are you doing differently to reinvent the traditional home party and make it more of an personalized experience?
Okay, so for me, I don't know if you guys are familiar. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with LuLaRoe. So that's where I started. And so the pop-up shop, the pop-up boutique is really popular. And that's kind of where I started 4 years ago, is doing a lot of pop-up boutiques, pop-up shops, whatever you guys want to call them. I still call them pop-up shops. But I decided that through all the training that I've done in my life, that, you always want to add value, right? You always want to there's a reason why people come to you and they don't go to like Susan down the street. So for me, it's styling. So styling is my passion. I love styling. I love doing hair. I love doing the whole look. So I started doing styling sessions. And so now I do one-on-one styling sessions and group styling sessions. And all it is really is just changing the verbiage. But it's huge because people are like, oh, what's that? Like, I've never heard of that. Or it's not really something that's super popular here because we live in a small town. So it's something that people, can go on Stitch Fix and get a box sent to them. But it's different when your neighbor down the road or someone in your town is doing it, right? So I do customized styling boxes. I add accessories in there. I ask them kind of what they like. I have a whole style profile that they have to fill out before they start, kind of similar to what I had to fill out when Lynn asked me to do this. It's just a bunch of questions that they answer about themselves, their body types. So I really get to know them. So when I show up at their house, I know exactly what I'm doing. Like, there's no questions of like who this person is. So yes, she does. Lynn does say that. Yes. So yeah, it's been really fun. It's been really successful. And a lot of people want to book it with their friends. And if they have 5 or more people that want to do it, then I'll come and do a group session. And what's really nice about those too is that I'm actually holding the spot for them, which means they pay me a deposit, which means they're going to keep their date. Because it is a service that I'm providing. And so I think that's really important, that when you guys are booking these parties, make sure that you understand your value and that this is something that you're offering them. You're serving them and you're providing a service to them in doing so. So that's a big mindset shift that I had to figure out when I started, is like, I was so happy to get parties. And so I was letting people, yank me around like, hey, can we reschedule to this night? And I was like, sure. And then I realized really fast that like, hey, I'm doing this. I'm spending my time and I'm doing my research and, following, taking classes and and doing all these things, that this is a service I am providing them. Although I am very grateful for them booking, but it's also, you really have to remind yourself that you're bringing value to them. So once they see how valuable you are, they're going to want to shop with you more, and they're going to want to continue to tell their friends about you. And I don't know, value's huge for me anyways.
Me too. I talk about it all the time. And a lot of our Vision East to VIP group is watching the show right now, and they know I beat that one. Like, right. It's not about you.
No.
It's about being of service and solving problems. And I love how you have really completely reinvented a party to make it all about a service that you provide. And I'm sure because you are doing that, that your sales they're not coming in to just buy one pair of leggings, right?
No. My average piece per transaction is 4 typically. So, I mean, it does help. Our clothes are super affordable too, but it does help to have all those outfits planned for your hostess before you even arrive. You know her size, you know her body type. You're putting together all these different outfits that she's able to try on at the party. So, it's helpful. Yeah, pre-plan.
It's like, and you know, the name brand department stores, you can go to Nordstrom's and they will do the same thing, right?
Right.
They'll fill a dressing room for you. You don't. You could literally sit in the dressing room. They will come in.
Right. And I actually do that because I have a styling studio, and I do the same thing. People walk in and I ask them their size, and I start pulling things and putting it in the dressing room for them right away. So, I mean, because those are the places I like to shop, and there's a reason, right?
It's that personalized service. And, you know, one of the things I say all the time, you know, we in this industry, we're called typically consultants, you're called a stylist. We're not order takers. We're not there to just take an order, add it up, and tell somebody how much they owe. And so that's why it's really important to remember that it's all about the customer and how you can serve them and help them get everything that they need. So I love that. And I can see that that's why you're so successful. And it's something that you created that's unique to you, that you can then, you know, be the go-to person when people are looking for that kind of service. I can see how that can lead to a ton of referrals for you as well.
Right. And that's the whole thing too, is I preach this to my team a lot, is that you brand yourself. People shop with me not because I sell Epiphany. They shop with me because they know me and they want to shop with me. I mean, Epiphany's a perk, right? But if I was to, I mean, I'm not planning to, but if I was to leave my company and go to another one tomorrow, my customers would go with me. I would say 90% of them would. Just the same as when I switched to Epiphany, all of my customers followed me. So I've had a very, very tight-knit like shopping group for almost 4 years now. So it's really fun.
And you probably saw that as a hairdresser too. It's not the salon, it's the hairdresser, right?
Right.
And that's why your personal brand is so important. So what was your biggest profit check for 1 week? Do tell.
So this is something so hard for me.
It's a little bragging.
No, it's okay. I'm not like the top performer in my company, but I am pretty high up there. And my biggest check for the week was $7,000. So only going to increase too. Right, guys?
So what did you do with it? I mean, that is just a phenomenal. Some people work, 3 months to earn that. So what did you do with it? Did you splurge? Did you save it? How did you celebrate?
So I'm really big about giving back. So what I do a lot is I do a lot of incentive stuff for my team. I donate a lot. So I like to find charities that I donate to. And then I save because I really want to build, we want to build a house. So we moved back to California in June, and our whole goal is to build our own home. So that's kind of what I'm doing too, is we're kind of like putting it away, and obviously taxes too, right?
Yeah, I know. The government's going to take some
real life. No, but it's really awesome because like I said, I love giving back, and I want, I think it's really big as a leader. You really have to understand the value of your team. You can't do this without them. So I always like to make sure that I'm reinvesting in them as much as possible. So if that means taking courses. I take a lot of classes every month on leadership. I, read a lot of books. So I'm always like reinvesting. And obviously I'm a forever student. My husband always jokes about that. I'm getting my PhD right now, which some days I'm like, oh, why? No. So I love learning, and I love giving back. And I mean, I will eventually will splurge, right, when we build our dream home, but that'll be a while. California takes a little longer than other states to do these things, but so that's what I'm really excited about. That's goals right there, is to have our dream home built. My husband's in construction, so it's always been his dream too. So it's really exciting to be able to, help provide for that. So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, amazing that, put that picture on your dream board. And
it is. I had our team make vision boards. Our dream home is on there. So
you got goosebumps. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Invite me to the housewarming.
Right. I will. You'll be on my list.
Totally want to come.
Yeah.
So have you've built very successfully, and I think you've already shared so many amazing success tips. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with everybody. Has there ever been a time when you wanted to give up and just throw in the towel and quit?
Every day. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's not that often, but I am very famous for being super hard on myself. So that was something I had to learn really early on, especially when I was doing hair and building my business there. Not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay. You're not going to be everyone's person. You're always going to find those people that you connect to. And so my big thing is, that's what I've always focused on, is finding those people I connect with and finding that support system. It's really important. So for me, it motivates me when someone's like, oh, they don't want to support me, or I know a lot of you can relate to this with your families. A lot of them won't shop with you, and it's just like, okay, well, that's fine, because I have my people over here, and they're awesome, and we love each other, and we support each other. And I know that when I'm having a bad day, I can just send a text and be like, hey guys, like today kind of stinks. Like, what are you up to? I want to hear about your good day, because I need that right now. It's like a whole mind shift.
Yeah.
You just need a support system. So find your people, even like I said, if it's not even your family, because for me, it's not. And that's okay. I have friends who have become family through this business. So
that's very true.
And they're watching. Love you guys.
It's true, and oh my goodness, why? I don't know. But for many times, the people that are closest to us are the ones that can't support us because it's their stuff. And I think we internalize that so much. But it's not you, it's them. So.
Right. And it's once you learn that, you'll be so much happier. Like when I get like a message from my mom about something like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, okay, you guys, I have a styling studio. My mom has not come one time to see it. Okay. So that tells you, I mean, not saying that it's not a malicious act, but it's just, it's not a priority to her. And for me, it's like, I like put in blood, sweat, and tears into this thing. And so for me, it was like, okay. She's like, what are you doing today? Well, Mom, I'm at my styling studio, this one that I spent months on. No, I was kidding.
I'm building my $1 million business here.
Hello. Right. But it's okay. Like I said, I always find that support with my friends, and my team is really great, and we love each other and we support each other there. And so that's the whole thing, is build that community around you. As humans, that's what it is. Naturally, we need a community. So that's what my advice is. Find your people.
Find your peeps. Find your peeps. Even you.
Yeah.
Just talk to them about your business.
Yeah. Right.
So talking about, that human connection, and I know we talked about your superpower, and I think it's so important for us to know our superpower and to connect to it and honor it. And so you mentioned that is one of yours. So
right.
This will be our close for the show. And I will ask our viewers, if anybody has a question, feel free to share that in the comments. We'll save a minute to share a comment, we'll take a question from the audience.
Okay.
Like a real life talk show. So tell us about what that human connection means for you.
So human connection for me, I've always been a person who, I was really sensitive growing up, and I always thought that was something that wasn't a strength. So I didn't really understand that actually being sensitive means that I'm pretty relatable because I understand where it is to be on the other side of that. So for me, it was really important finding those people who just embraced me, even though like sometimes like my feelings get hurt really easy. And so for me, like I said, being on the other side of that, I feel like I'm a better listener because I felt like as growing up, when you're sensitive, people kind of dismiss you and are like, oh, stop being sensitive. That's like a huge thing, right? So for me, I'm a really good listener because I was dismissed so often. And so I feel like in being a good listener, I can just connect with people. It's amazing when you stop talking and start listening, what can happen, you know? So, and being a good listener, sometimes I hear things I don't need to hear, but I used to always joke as a hairstylist that I was a hairapist, right? Because sometimes people will sit in your chair and you're just like, oh, I did not think this was coming today, but here it is. So what do I do with it? No, I think just listening and understanding and trying to understand where other people are coming from. Because a lot of times when you feel like they're coming from a place of like negativity, it's a lot of times like their own self-doubt and their own stuff, like you said. And so understanding that and just being sure that you're, you know, sometimes people are going to have a bad day and it's not anything that you've done. It's just, you know, sometimes they just need people to like give them a hug, you know, like, hey, can you just like hug me today? Because I really need it. Okay. Like that's sometimes all we need.
You know, I think that's so true. You know, your hairdressing career was such a great, you know, testing ground for direct sales because
right.
Geez, my husband, I'm like, if I could only charge by the hour.
Oh my gosh, I know. Sometimes.
But it is true. You know, all we really have to do is listen and tune in. And I think we just connected because, like you said, finding your tribe and really tuning in to people that have that like-minded energy is so important, and making those connections. So listen to your heart and listen to your gut.
Right. Follow your heart. Cheesy as it sounds.
Follow your heart. All right. Well, we will end on that note. Inga's saying thank you for being so honest and transparent. So
you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
I was really excited.
It went so fast, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
30 minutes go so fast. So thank you so much for sharing. Where can people connect with you? Where can they find you if they want our beautiful velvet dresses or they just want to say hello? How can they find you?
I'm the same across all social media platforms, and my business is Hive Beauty Box. So it's HIVE and then Beauty Box. And that's it. You can find me on any social media platform: Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. I don't have a Twitter. I haven't tapped into that. I don't know if I will, but maybe someone can convert me there.
I think you're doing fine. I think you're doing fine. So, Hive Beauty Box. I'll put it in the on the screen here. Let me know if I spelled that right. I think I did. Hive Beauty Box.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And okay, so now you have to just tell them real quick where that came from.
My business name. So obviously Honey and Lace used to be our big brand. But when I was thinking about names, I was really thinking about why I started my business. And obviously that's a huge thing too, right? Remember your why throughout all of this. Because once you start losing sight of that, a lot of the times you start feeling like a little bit lost. And so Hive for me is community, family, connection. And that's what a Hive is. And so that's why I chose Hive. And then Beauty Box, because that's what I do, right? Like I'm all about the whole person. And that doesn't mean just outside, inside and outside. But yes, so that's how I came up with the name Hive Beauty Box. And obviously the boxes that I do, right? The styling boxes. I knew that I was going to move into that. So it was a branding strategy as well.
It all ties in together.
Right.
Well, thank you again so much. And you know, you're just a genuine person and your energy comes through. And I just wish you lived down the street because we would totally be having wine tonight. For sure.
Right. I'll be there in 5.
Okay. Sounds good.
Right. Thanks, Lynn, for having me. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. And for our YouTube viewers, because we also put this on YouTube, thanks for watching. And feel free again to share Kayla's story and motivate, inspire, and teach your teams how to dream bigger. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.